This episode of Background Noise is brought to you by Trident Clothing Shop. Now listen, y'all, this is a brand new clothing company that's taken the public by storm, with not only a badass line of clothes and accessories, but a strong message behind it too. Trident Clothing Shop's goal is for you to go out and challenge yourself, be the best version of yourself you can be, and achieve all your goals. And shit, even look great doing it too. But don't take my word for it. Go ahead and click on the link that's underneath the video in the comment section. Check out the website. You be the judge. In the meantime, sit back, relax, and let's get this shit started. And what's up, everyone? Welcome to this episode of Background Noise. I got Daniel here with me. And we're just going to shoot the shit for a little while. What's going on, my dude?
Nothing much, dude. How about yourself?
Same shit, different smell. What's new in the world of D?
Nothing much. Just going to the gym as usual.
As per usual. That's what's up, my dude.
Yeah.
You seen any jumps lately?
Yeah, a little bit. Not to where I used to be. It's crazy what, I don't know, a few months off would do. And I guess not even a few months off, just not pushing it as hard.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Your body becomes accustomed to a certain, especially with what I remember at one point you got to be like, you're about what, 5'6", 5'6", and you got to like, what, 172 or some shit like that, if I remember correctly. How heavy did you end up getting?
Oh, I mean, when I started?
I mean, when you would say the most...
the most fat?
No. I'm talking about, the most fit you are, from...
Well, the thing is, the most fit I felt like I was 155. And I weigh about 155 right now. I just looked completely different. I looked bigger. I looked...
Yeah.
I looked buff, if you will.
You had a little bit less fat on you. And
now I have
more muscle.
less muscle and a little bit more fat just because I've been taking a lot of time off.
Well, that happens, but, though.
I'm trying to get back to where I was slowly but surely. But I used to be, at my peak of healthiness, I feel like around... So what I have been so far was probably around 12% body fat at 155. And I was I was pretty happy with that. I could have pushed it harder and maybe gone down to 9% body fat.
Well, you pushing harder wasn't really the thing. It really, at that point, it just came down to diet. I mean, sure, at some points you could have pushed a little bit harder as far as weightlifting goes, but that becomes it's not a matter of you pushing harder. It's just fine tuning and making sure your form's correct.
Yeah.
And you definitely weren't lacking or anything like that, but maybe if we just paid a little bit more attention to getting actually you've been doing pretty well lately, as a matter of fact, of getting that tight squeeze and just really flexing
I mean, when I was excited to go to the gym every day, I felt like my technique was way better. Not way better than it is now, but it was definitely something I thought about, so I think it really just came down to diet. And I did diet to lose a bunch of weight, but when I was gaining a bunch of that muscle, I was conscious of what I was eating, but I was like, I'm okay to have some bread today. Or
you're okay with kind of fucking around a little bit?
Yeah, just I'm not going crazy by any means, but and also as high school lunches don't offer that much variety, so I'll just have a chicken sandwich, with the bun. Oh well, I had some wheat bread today, whatever. When I used to just really cut out almost all the carbs. So
you really, moreover, you just cut out carbs. You cut back more than
more than anything. Yeah, I cut back. And that chicken, I got for lunch during high school. Usually, I wanted was a grilled chicken sandwich, and it had cheese on it. And I was like, that's fine, I guess, because that's just my only option. It's the grilled or with the breading. And
especially with your age, your metabolism is so high, you can afford to have that extra dairy.
Yeah, being 19 is definitely a blessing right now with the. Or at the time, I was probably 17, 18 with the weight loss part of it, which is...
What they're showing, though, if you can maintain a good, steady exercise routine and you can maintain a good diet, you can go up into your, even into your 40s and still have a pretty decent metabolism.
Yeah.
Basically, just the only thing that will change is the way your body synthesizes what you're eating and stuff like that. It won't... for instance, now it's going to probably take a little bit less for you to get that extra burst of energy that you may need later on in your years and all that good stuff. But I don't know, man, I think you really could have. I mean, if you really want to cut to 9% body fat, I would just there's always the keto diet, and there's always carb. I've always been a fan of carb cycling because I don't want to I don't know. I've seen keto work for a lot of folks, but there's always a point where you have to maintain a certain consistency. If you don't eat everything on your regimen that often, you will start kind of withering away.
Yeah, and my problem wasn't like also it's just not eating enough. So I feel like if I went on the keto diet, it'd be just that much harder to find something to eat, and it'd probably just. And I might have gone down body fat wise, but I probably wouldn't have been in the best mood. You know, like I probably would have been pretty tired and pretty grumpy.
Well, that's the thing too. If you replace a lot of those extra carbs with good healthy fats and stuff like that, your body will learn how to synthesize and live kind of off of those fats and instead of the carbs. What that kind of does is your body becomes more dependent on glucose whenever you have more like carbs and like like hidden sugars and like white bread and shit like that.
Right.
Your body becomes more dependent on glucose. And even if you are eating really healthy, by the book, like say cold turkey with like good healthy fats, your body is going to take some time to adapt and get used to, being able to function off of and find energy off of fats instead of glucose. And, hence why people get so addicted to sugars and shit like that.
Yeah.
And it's hard.
It happens to the best of them. Even me, I have my weaknesses and stuff like that. I mean, when I initially first started wanting to lose weight, I cut out soda, cold turkey, which was easy. I only craved ice cream. That was my one weakness.
Really?
Ice cream was a deadly thing for me. That was my one thing that I kind of craved. So I would have it once a week in a portion, like a small portion, just to get the craving out of my mind, and it's a reward for like Sundays would be my rest day. The only day I would take off and it'd be my cheat day. I'd have one cheat day a week and I still managed to lose roughly about 70 to 75 pounds in 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, you definitely, what was the heaviest you got to, 205 or something?
No, well, because I took my first in-body. And I took my first in-body after about 2 weeks after.
An in-body machine is basically something that you'll stand on and it sends basically a little electrical currents inside your body and it using in a weird way, kind of like sonar or like stuff like that.
Some type of signal,
some sort of signal, exactly, pulsing through your body. It can actually just record the density of what it's actually reading against, so it can tell the difference between like bone, muscle, fat, and it gives you results. Water, and it gives you the results as far as like what your weight is,
what exactly weighs, what weighs what, like how much your bones weigh, how dense they are.
Like for instance, like say someone that's 100 and I don't know. Let's just see here. You can have like. It tells you like the amount of pounds of muscle that you have on you versus the amount of pounds of fat that you have on you, and then how it's distributed. And that's what an in-body is. Whenever we mention it,
basically gives you a complete rundown of exactly what the content of your body is, like muscle, bone, fat wise. So I started working out for about I'd say about 3 to 4 weeks prior to the first in-body. And I had lost some weight, and so I was probably around 215, 220.
Okay.
I was a big I was a fat lard. Fat sack of hammers. So,
took you a couple times to roll over to get on your back?
Yeah, dude. And, like, the thing about it was, when I was overweight, I would go to the gym, and I would try, and I never stuck to it until it just, like, a light bulb went off in my head one day, and I was like, you know what, you're going to do this every day.
When was that? When did you decide that? Because I remember I was on I was in a similar boat, not quite as extreme as your case, but after working at the dealership, I got to 250 pounds. And I remember for the next 2 years after I left that job, I was just on a big fitness craze. And the best I ever got was 224, 225, around 9% body fat. And I know shortly afterwards you started lifting. When did that all kind of come to fruition with you? And when did you realize, hey, look, this is something I'm going to do often and make this a hobby of mine?
Well, I don't know. My junior year of high school was tough. I was just really feeling very depressed every day. I had anxiety. I missed so much school because I would literally drive to school, get there in the parking lot, and just have like a little mini panic attack and just drive home. I just didn't want to go in. It made me feel nauseous. And it's one because I just don't like school, because I knew what I wanted to do, and the career path I needed, or the career path I chose only needed the diploma, So I knew I needed to get there and be there just to get out of it, but I knew it wasn't important, So that part of it was the reason why I had anxiety, but also just because I had unhealthy eating habits. I was overweight. I was just
that will dictate
down,
a lot of your mood.
Yeah. Watching, I don't know, as stupid as it sounds, like an ex-girlfriend go to someone else,
just, dude, that's not stupid at all. That's the first, and especially in public school and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I was a kid,
a teenage guy and his emotions. You're finally starting to see the blunt end of that stick. You're like, oh shit, this hurts.
Yeah, and
it sucks.
It just hit me in the face. a brick fucking
punch you in the fat dick.
Yeah, exactly. So this one day it just snapped, and I started going to the gym 6 days a week from there.
And how did you feel when you first started going?
Also,
to the gym?
I game planned it too, because it was towards the tail end of my junior year that I knew like I wanted to lose weight. Like I'm really gonna try and give it 100% and not flake out. So that's like about the 4 weeks, like the last month of school, I started going to the gym because like I'm gonna take the entire summer, fall off the grid, not really do any social media, not really kind of talk to anyone, you know,
just come back a Greek god.
And that's exactly what the fuck I did.
Chiseled abs.
Yeah,
and like your.
I that whole summer, basically except for Sundays, I was like I ate pescatarian most likely, except for the exception of chicken. Really didn't eat much beef just because I'm not huge into beef, but I really tried to cut out like all the shit, like the sugars, and I really cut down on carbs and ate a fuck ton of fish just because I knew that was like the leanest thing for you, you know, and I was trying to get really leaned out. So fish was like my best friend, is my go-to, is fish and broccoli and like some rice or some shit.
I got you. And like when you went to the started going to the gym and started going more frequently, like what did you start off with, and how did you get into the routine, and as far as like because I know early on you started off with mainly cardio.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just really nervous which I'm sure a lot of people are if they're starting out, to just go into weights because they don't know what to do. And usually the people who are lifting weights, a lot of big buff dudes who seem like they know what they're doing, seem like they're going to maybe scoff at you, which they won't.
You up and
yeah, I mean, which they won't unless you're at fucking Gold Gym or some stupid shit, you know.
It's everywhere, dude.
It is everywhere, but fuck them, you know. Like, I've never met anyone, especially that's super fit too, that has looked down on someone trying to better themselves.
It's usually like those big yoked motherfuckers that still have like, they're carrying like 20% fat on them, but they're just moving a lot of weight.
Yeah, they're huge. And even then, like, I've never personally seen it. And I've been going, like, I was an overweight person trying to better myself at the gym. I was nervous about it. I was subconscious about it. But what made me get over that was just, I don't know, honestly, just not being a bitch and just getting to the gym and not paying attention to it. So
no, absolutely, you had your goal in mind and you fucking you set after it. Well, fuck yeah, my dude. I know diets are definitely gonna vary among person to person, but the thing that really, really worked the best for me, one, it helped a lot too. My roommate, David at the time, he worked for a nutrition company, and his boss was an ex-bodybuilder who was, competing and all that stuff. And we just, we didn't have money, and like there's a gym right across the street. So we're like, what kind of, cheap ways are we going to be healthy and get into some hobbies? We're like, well, let's get into bodybuilding. Fuck it, let's get in shape. And so we just started experimenting with so many different ways and different things to experiment and push our bodies and get ourselves uncomfortable and really, really find what works best as far as gaining mass and losing fat. And the thing that worked the most, for sure, I mean, obviously early on, especially since I hadn't lifted weights a lot at that point, I saw some big jumps in like my strength and just my overall size, and as far as fat loss goes, I didn't end up losing any real big numbers. And I know, fuck me, dude. And I swear, I think it was already silenced, and me being a dumbass, I just accidentally turned the silence off. I muffed up. But anyways, I saw lots of big jumps in strength and just my overall size, but I wasn't really losing a lot of fat. And once I started doing carb cycling, I would wake up, and the most extreme point to where I got to where I saw the best results was I'd wake up in the morning, I'd have like 4 eggs and no cheese, no ketchup, because there's lots of hidden sugar inside that ketchup and stuff like that. Yeah, it's
deadly.
And on my low carb days, I would have a maximum of like 100 grams of carbs. And so I count all my carbs. I'd only have like a piece of toast or something like that. And just throughout the day, I would have like nuts and
beef jerky.
Like beef jerky, lots of protein, because when I wanted to burn as much fat as I could, but make sure I'm in taking enough protein to sustain and build muscle too. So I was having close to anywhere between 200 and 300 grams of carbs a day as well. Yeah. And then I would have my high carb days and then my low carb days. Low carb days is like what I just mentioned, but then high carb days I would up the carbs to around 250 grams of carbs. And typically I would do that before like doing like a back day or a leg day, something with like a large muscle group, just so your body can use the extra carbs for energy and all that good stuff. And just doing that and not changing anything. Anytime I would change a diet or a routine with weights and stuff like that, I would do it for a bare minimum of 2 or 3 weeks, just to make sure I gave it a true fire shot and see how the results are going from there. And just doing that and experimenting, I ended up getting to, I think, like 224, 9% body fat, which was the best I've ever, looked and felt. And I was pushing the most weight I ever had. I did not stretch very much, and so I lost a lot of flexibility. And I wasn't punching the bag or sparring at all, and I lost some hand speed as well. And, it's just part of it, give, take, unless you take time to work out with both of it.
Yeah.
But either way, you're not a little roly-poly anymore.
Yeah. To go back what you said earlier, what I did, it was cardio in the beginning.
That's right, yeah.
I would first start out, I guess, for the first, I say about 2 months or so, that last month of being in high school, then the first month of summer, I would just do mainly straight cardio, like I said, because I was nervous about lifting weights. So I would just
burn all them calories.
I would wear sweatpants, shirt,
sweat all that water out, burn
hoodie,
all the calories,
beanie, really just fucking try to get every ounce of sweat I could. So I would just go, and I would probably do the body for 30 to 45 minutes, do the stairs for 30 to 45 minutes, and do either like the Orbitrek or one other cardio machine for 30 to 45 minutes. I wouldn't even run. I've never started running. I really haven't ran. I ran with you a little bit that one time, but other than that, I really just didn't even run. So if people think that they need to run to lose weight, that's not true.
And in fact, you actually burn more if you know how to lift correctly and you know how to push it well enough. You can burn more calories lifting than running.
Yeah.
The best time to run is actually after your workout, but you got to be careful because you don't want to be burning into like your protein and like your muscles.
That's why I recommend the Stairmaster.
Just keep your heart rate low and make sure you're constantly moving, and then you after a lift, and so you can actually burn fat a little bit easier that way.
Yeah, and I mean at that time also you were getting into the bodybuilding like you said, and I was like, hey man, like I can see huge changes in your body. So that's when I started to do what you were doing as far as like just weightlifting, and I had one cardio day a week.
Oh yeah,
and then I started seeing huge results because I was already losing a lot of weight from just dieting well and a lot of cardio. So I was already seeing some progress, but once I started lifting weights, it just changed everything. And then, like the last 2 months of it, I just went really hard and pushed as hard as I could. And
then I honestly got burnt out. Like, especially, I was lifting hard and consistently with very minimal breaks for about 2 years straight. And then I got to where I wanted to be. I even, after going through my appendectomy, that went kind of, my appendix decided to fucking pop in me, and I started going slightly septic. So I definitely had to take about a month off, and I lost a lot there. And then once we, kind of rebuilt and got to where I wanted to get to, it's kind of like one of those things where it's like you didn't necessarily make it. You can obviously go farther, but it's like I'm satisfied with what I did. I don't want to really continue this much anymore. So then I focused more on like EMT school at the time, and then playing guitar and stuff like that. Just kind of shifting over to new sets of goals and stuff. And now just trying to find a balance. Lately I've been running a lot more, so it's just different in general.
Mm-hmm.
At first, it was a little ego bruiser going back to the gym, seeing how much less weight I'm able to move fluently. But at the same token, too, I can run a lot farther now than I did then. So it's just is what it is. You have to accept what you're working with, and if you're training for one thing, don't expect the other thing to just get better.
Yeah.
But anyhow.
Oh God. Gross.
But yeah, so I don't know. You just came back from the gym not too long ago, and I'm already starting to see little results in you. So I thought I'd bring it up and ask you about it.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm starting to see a little bit of muscle growth back. It's just not nearly to where I was, man. Like I didn't realize how much weight I was actually moving until I look back at it, and it was like I was moving a fucking insane amount of weight, but it was definitely on the heavier side for my size. I'm not a big person. I'm not a big guy, and I was like, I was moving probably about 15 pounds heavier.
What did you end up doing any PRs or anything like that, or personal?
I mean, I never like tried to like
max out.
No, because I really worked out alone, so I wasn't.
No, I got you.
I didn't have any spotters or anything like that. I wish I would have, to be honest.
Just to kind of see.
I mean, for reps, for example, incline bench press, for reps 20, 15, 10, I would do 55 pounds on each hand. And I'm only 5'6", not a huge guy. That's pretty.
So what's that the weight in total? 55 on each end, so you got a 45-pound bar. So you got like 110 plus 45,
Yeah,
that's 155.
Yeah, and I mean that's just that's just what I would do to work out with.
Yeah.
At the peak of my health, like when I thought I was the healthiest, I would just work out with that, and I was like, that's cool.
We never really would go for
I never went for just
rep PRs because you're always at risk of hurting yourself and
Yeah.
stuff like that. We've always been more proud of saying like, hey, look, I repped 225 20 times versus like 385 once.
Yeah, no, I was never about that. And also because my wrist can't handle it. I broke my wrist so many goddamn times being a fucking idiot.
Oh man, I
fucking broke my wrist a total of 5 times.
I will never fucking forget that. As fucked up as it sounds, the most entertaining time you broke your wrist is when you came home and you told me the story of just how like you're walking up the stairs and then someone just decided to be a fucking cockbag.
No. I got this. Okay, so take it back. Good old Danny G. Middle school days. I was in the 6th grade. It's my fucking first year of middle school.
Let's paint a picture. So we're talking like skinny jeans, graphic tee of either
punk kid, fucking
Beebs hair but longer.
Hey, majestic. It's right. Anyway, so I was at gym class. We were leaving. Bell rang. I'm walking from the gym up the stairs to the hallway, right? Because then I can go to my next class. The stairs are narrow. And these 2 fucking guys just decide to race on the way up the stairs. So I'm just walking my happy ass up the stairs by my lonesome, fucking like bullshitting around. And both of them at the same time push me like by the shoulders, like my back, And I had no idea what happened. They just both knocked me the fuck over. And I land on the corner of the edge of the stair. One arm, like in the middle of my arm, breaks both bones. Yeah. And then I land on top of my arms. I didn't brace my fall. I didn't see it coming. So, and then I land on my other arm on like the wrist and just both on like the edge of the stair. And then I swear to God, I hear it crack. It sounds like exactly like a water bottle, like an empty one being squeezed.
Ugh.
It's exactly what it sounded like. And I was like, fuck, that is not good. And I get up and then I immediately start sweating so heavily. Right, and then I look down, and one of my arms looks like a goddamn, almost like a C shape. And I didn't know my wrist was broken yet because it was just like a minor fracture. So I just thought my one arm was fucked because obviously that one was broken. I thought. So I walk up the stairs, right, and I'm sweating. It sounds like I'm underwater. My hearing's all muffled. I'm about to pass the fuck out. Everyone's like, "Oh shit, his arm's broken!" Like everyone's like looking at me. Like walk to the nurse by myself, right. And the nurse is like, "Oh, what happened?" I was like, "Oh, I got tripped on the stairs. I broke my arm." And she looks at it and goes, no. Like, I don't think it's broken. Then she starts to twist it. Oh, she's like God. Trying to test the water, see if I can move. I was like, I was on the verge of tears. Both bones cracked, mind you. She doesn't think it's broken. Obviously swollen and like curved. She's calling my mom or our mom. She's like, "Yeah, he says his arm's broken, but I don't think it is." And whatever. So I'm just sitting there in the nurse's office with an ice pack. So
she's fucking like, "Well, I studied to be a doctor, but I did the next best thing." Yeah, middle school nurse.
Mm-hmm. The only thing she could have done. She can't even do that fucking correctly. So mom rolls down later that day. So I'm sitting there waiting for mom because she says, "Hey, I'm gonna pick him up either way, whatever." And I draw my ice pack on the floor and I pick it up, and that's when I feel like a really sharp pinch in my wrist. Oof. I was like, holy fuck, that's not good either. I'm like, I broke my goddamn wrist too. So I get to the fucking hospital with mom, take x-rays. Yep, 2 fucking cracked bones in my left arm.
The doctor.
Cracked wrist in my right wrist. Fucking go back, dude. Double cast it up, mind you. Mom bitched the nurse out like I've never seen. Like, I swear mom's from Compton secretly. Like, dude.
Made her quit medicine.
Medicine. Bitch, she didn't know my arm was broken. But, like, oh my God. And that was, not gonna lie, like, the best year of school for me ever. I had a pass to leave early and be late. And no one let me do my work by myself. Fucking all the teachers felt so bad. They just fucking passed me on by. They did my tests for me. It was awesome. I just sat there twiddle-dicking on my fucking phone just the whole year, just being the guy who broke both of his arms. And that's seriously how like they knew me, basically. I guess that's, oh, hey, you're the kid that broke both of his arms that year. I was like, yep, that's me. And my teachers just, ate that shit up. So
Jesus.
It was a blessing.
I also remember you coming home and we used to always shoot basketball hoops. And,
the first day I come home with the cash, you're like, hey, I want to go shoot some hoops. And I was like, oh, fuck you. Both cash just sad as fuck. The most annoying thing, though, everyone's like, how do you shower and how do you shit? And I was like, well, just like you do, I'm pretty sure.
I just spread my cheeks and
I'm like,
give it a little
I'm
squeeze.
I'm not an retard. I broke my arm, my wrist. Like, it's cool. Just put fucking glove up my fucking arms and
I bet you couldn't spank it for a while.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't.
Just fucking sandpaper your wiener on both sides. I want it.
Yeah, you think I punched a hole in the door because I was mad? That's not why it all.
Boy needed to alleviate himself.
Got split into dick. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, it was alright. It was 6th grade, best school year, easiest school year. Maybe not the best, but definitely the easiest because I didn't have to do any work and people just, they were just chill. Wanted to sign my cast. I was like, sure. Didn't even have to do gym, obviously. Just sat there. Fuck gym. I hated gym. It was stupid.
It was kind of dumb.
I had a fucking... You know what's funny? I'm pretty sure I had your gym coach from when you went to drift school. Dude, he got in a fucking fist fight with a kid and lost.
No shit.
That's how he got fired. He would always fucking sit in the corner or stand in the corner and, like, as we were warming up, all of us were doing jumping jacks, right? So I'm sure you could see our little fucking pretzel dicks, like, flopping around in our gym shorts. And he would lift up his shirt and just rub his belly button.
No, with
and I was like, what the fuck? And
with fucking us, we'd be doing like high knees and shit. And he's watching our supple cheeks just like wrestle and tussle inside of our shorts.
He would seriously just start rubbing his belly button.
No, like he'd keep his clipboard. Actually, fuck, we said his name. I'm gonna bleep it out.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, never mind.
But he's not gonna listen to this shit.
But still, he'd keep his fucking he'd keep his fucking clipboard in front of his like crotch and stuff like that. He'd hold it with his hands. I swear to God, dude, I'd see him like tugging on his nutsack like underneath the clipboard.
Bro, was he not allowed in the locker room for y'all?
That was a rumor, but I can't say for sure.
Oh,
it was just kind of like that mythical creature that comes and steals your children at night.
Yeah,
it's like no one ever really thought could come out and say he was like a creep like that, kind of fantasizing about taking your children and shit. But
yeah. I think he pushed a kid and the fucking kid decked him. I think that was that.
Probably just had the last straw, dude.
I was like, holy shit. Or he's really turned on. One of the two. He's had to touch him.
I remember I fucking bruised the shit out of my tailbone in football, and I could barely fucking walk.
Take a peek.
Right? And then it was weird though, man, because like fucking, he was like rubbing my lower back and stuff like that. I was like, dude, it's my tailbone, and I didn't want him to go any fucking lower.
That's hot.
So I just kind of started waddling away. He goes, you're fine, and he made me start to practice again. But then like, no, dude, like I bruised.
He has that Adam Sandler egg-shaped head.
He does.
He looks like Adam Sandler's dad. What I imagine he looks like, but rough years. Poor guy.
Yep.
Stupid.
Well, fuck, dude. I was one thing that kind of threw me off today, as far as like weird kind of rapey sexual vibes. It was the weirdest thing. Man, I was at work, and we went to the nursing home, and this lady probably had to have been no less than 86 or so. She was having some chest pains and stuff like that, so we're putting the 12 leads, which is like, basically, like I said before, paints a picture of her heart, for us and all that good stuff to kind of see what's going on. And, we have to put stickers all over her chest and stuff like that, so I got them all gloved up and stuff. I'm like, man, we have to, kind of move your shirt around a little bit, put these, stickers on so we can help you. She goes, oh, son, I haven't been touched in over 19 years. You could not offend me.
Oh, man.
And I'm just like, okay. And, well, I need to kind of come under here for a second. Oh, okay. And she just pops out, her titty out, her left titty. We need to actually kind of go underneath, near the sternum and around the left side of her body. And she just pops her titty out. And I swear to God, dude, it looks like
saggy.
No, dude, it looks like she was carrying like 2 purses underneath her shirt the entire time.
Balls.
And these nips were the size of dinner plates, dude.
Oh no,
it was brutal. And she just looked at me, and I swear, dude, she tried to lick her lips, but her lips are just too chapped, and she doesn't.
Her teeth fall out.
Yeah, right. Her dentures fucking pop out, and no, dude. And she wanted me to cup her titty or something like that, dude.
Did you?
The thing that kind of is awkward too, I kind of had to in order to lift it up to get the sticker where I needed to get it, and for all I know, she could have
gotten off by that.
Maybe, but you know what? It's part of the job,
bro.
Saving a life one titty at a time.
Do you know if she has like an iPhone or something?
I don't know,
dude. If she would ever find out how much porn is on the internet, she would fucking flip her cap, dude. I'm sure.
She'd probably.
Poor thing, 19 years. Just waiting for someone to touch her.
Nah, man.
Fuck nursing homes, dude.
Oh, jeez, dude. Like, and I was even going over this in my last little podcast. How like it's probably one of the most depressing things I've ever seen in my life.
It's like a pound for a dog.
In a way, man, because it's a place where people stay when they can't take care of themselves, and people like they have no family, or people just can't take care of them. And a lot of these people that are taking care of these folks are underqualified, for one, or not necessarily. They get their certs, but
They don't want to be there.
They don't want to be there, and then like it's they get treated shitty a lot of the time. There's some good legit places too, but the thing that really sucks is a lot of them, they've already lost their mind. You know, either severe Alzheimer's or late stage, like pre-hospice stuff. You know, and they're just kind of like. It's weird, man. They kind of resort back to children. It's really crazy how like you can be like, you can see in hospitals, you know, slightly younger older folks, if that makes any sense. Like instead of like towards the tail end of their years, they're still kind of with it. They're still pretty intelligent, but they're just like pretty sick or something. But then those ones that live a long time that make it to the nursing homes, when they're just like completely gone, like, I mean, we're talking incontinence, so they have to use diapers. Some just when they don't like the food they want, they just will start screaming and spitting it up all over their shirts and chest, and then like the nurse will just come like with a stone cold, just dead face, just clean it up like fuck this job.
Yeah, it's like, fuck
and
you.
then the thing that breaks my heart the most is that every once in a while there's some people that are starting to get Alzheimer's, and they have like maybe Parkinson's, and they can't really take care of themselves, but they're still kind of with it, and they'll talk to me and ask me a question. And then I'll kind of look at them and answer again. And they're like, oh, I forgot again, didn't I? And I'm just kind of like, fuck, you know. It sucks. It's so fucking sad. Because could you imagine just having your whole entire life, whether you're ready or not, whether you accomplished what you wanted to accomplish, or like you realize that there's so much more of your life that you wanted to live that you never got to do in your youth. And then you just realize that, oh, I'm starting to slip away. You know, it's certain, this is it. I'm gone now. You know, relatives can't take care of me. No one. Some people may not even know I'm here. And this is where how I die. And it's the most slow and painful death, I feel, because it's one that kind of rots you from the inside out.
Mm-hmm. Mentally too.
Yeah, because there's just some people that just really don't want to be there, and all they keep saying is like, I just can't wait to go home. I can't wait to go home.
They're never going.
But they don't realize that, like, look, this is your new home. You're not going home.
Oh,
it's just
sad.
tough, man. Fuck nursing homes. You're right. Fuck that shit.
I guess we need them. I mean, fuck. I mean, where else are they gonna stay?
Exactly. But still, I mean, if I ever get to that point where I'm in a nursing home, like
I'll kill you.
Yeah, seriously, please.
I'll do it. I'll make it cool so you have a cool story to tell when you go to heaven or hell.
You don't even have to really even kill me. All you'd have to do is just like tighten a rope around my neck and like
kill you.
Yeah. I mean, but let me like jack off for a little bit first or something.
Autoerotic asphyxiation?
Yeah.
That's not cool. I don't want to do that. That's not what I want to do.
You don't have to watch.
I mean, if I have to kill you because you're not able to take care of yourself, who's going to jerk you off?
Me.
I doubt it. I highly doubt it. You can't forget who you are and call the cops. Someone's touching you.
Right, someone's touching you.
No. Yeah, no, I would never let you get like that. I'll shave off your mustache and then...
But yeah, I am really... I am pretty excited. We are going to be going to UFC Fight Night here in Austin. Oh, yeah. So we're definitely going to be getting... we're going to have a Baby Brother Beatdown breakdown beforehand, and then we're going to have like a little blog post of like just kind of like a little short film of us, going to the fights and all that good stuff, and we'll do some clips and all that good shit, and we'll come back and
be fun as fuck.
Finish up the podcast and break down the fights we watch.
Oh yeah,
Donald Cerrone's gonna be fun to watch. I've really been looking forward to
see Derek Lewis, dude. It's gonna be good.
Yes. So we got that coming up for y'all, and then I'm in the process of getting new folks here on the podcast. There's gonna be a few new guests, and it's gonna be real fun. So just like, subscribe, all that good shit. Really appreciate it, and we'll talk to y'all a little bit later.